Hello world! Way of Time here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. Now, our little Taint experiment didn't exactly work as we had planned. I'm not exactly sure how that is, but maybe there was just so much Taint in this chunk. As you see, it's now down to about 6.5 thousand, and it's still decreasing and going into the neighboring chunk. So I'm not sure why that is. Maybe there's some sort of philosophical reason why it just doesn't like me. Maybe it just doesn't like me. That's possibly the only reason. So I'm just going to do a little experiment with this, seeing what happens when we put it in a pre-tainted chunk. I'm just going to put one of these here, see if there's any decomposition of the taint. Ew, that seems to be creeping in right now. Not fun. Maybe I can stonewall it, haha, or, well, not stone, but you get it. You get it, you're smart. I don't have to explain every single joke to you. Take that. Anyways, so, basically, I was archiving a lot of my videos that I made recently, and that included all of the stuff that the raw data, basically. So when I record with Fraps, it puts them in all 4 gigabyte chunks, and there's like 20 chunks per video. And well, let's just say my hard drive is about 2 terabytes of hard disk space, and I managed to accumulate 1.62 terabytes of raw footage. I deleted it. It's a bit faster, though I think I'll need to defrag my hard drive later. Anyways, going into some of the major stuff, as you see, I've got a rough outline of the next building that we're going to build. We might need it slightly bigger than this. I'm not sure how much this is. How big are ye? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You're 21, and I mapped out a 20 large, so I'm just gonna make it slightly normal. And basically, this room, when I finally clear it out, will be our next project that we're going to be working on. It's not just going to be another mod room, though it has something to do with a mod. This is going to be the major Mistcraft Nexus room. There's a few things I am thinking of doing with this right away. Those things are going to have to pretty much wait until I have most of the major area cleared out. So I'm just going to clear out this area and see how well it works. Clear, clear, clear. See you in a second. Okay. Thank goodness for the miracles of editing. Now we got a nice, I'm not sure the dimensions of this room. Honestly, I don't really think it matters too much. We know that it is 21 long, so when we get to 11, we have about the center of this room, the exact center. Nice. And this exact center is probably going to press upon us at a later date. Anyways, we should probably change most of this into smooth stone just to make it nice and tidy looking, and so that we can press upon ourselves how awesome this stone edifice of ingenuity will work. Now, if any of you have seen my previous Nexus builds, the Nexus is somewhat of a time-consuming activity, but this one I'm not going to really predefine any sort of thing that I'm going to do, so I'm not going to write any of the code ahead of time. So you'll pretty much have every single bit of my brainstorming sessions that I do normally. Now, I'm not sure how that will turn out. We'll only see. Only time will tell. Pause for laughter. But we'll see how it goes. So, we got this nice stone room, and The first thing that we're going to need to do is, well, not destroy the center block of location that we put in front of ourselves. That was there for a reason, you dolt. Actually, let's make it a little more arty, shall we? So go around into a square, and then get a little right there. I need to get a life. Okay. I think that's all we're gonna see of that basalt cobblestone, and this is pinpointing the center of this area. Now there's a few things that I want to improve upon my previous Nexus build. You know, I started talking about this Nexus as if everyone watching this has seen it, which is probably not the case. So the Nexus build is something that is mainly used or only used in Mistcraft. Basically, you have the linking book and you have a linking book stand. Hooray, hurrah! And the premise is that you have a bunch of linking books on stands in storage, like underground, and when you want a particular linking book that you want, you just go to a computer terminal, type in a command, and then it'll bring you that particular book. Now, you're probably wondering why I was all finicky with getting the center of this room. What I want to do is maybe have some sort of device that will be able to pull away the center of this. So maybe using a sticky piston combo to push out, then go up. And that will basically, when it goes and retracts, it will then... I'm not too sure about this, honestly. Anyways, I'll try to finish my thoughts. Basically, you'll have a center block right here, which is in the script, and you can't tell anything funny is happening with it. And when you pull a lever, or type a command, I'm not sure how it will be, it will go down, so it'll be here right now. Then the two pistons, there will be a piston here that pushes the stone up in the first place, it'll retract, then two more sticky pistons right here will pull it back, which will allow, here's the awesome part, a frame, basically a frame contraption with a bookcase right there, book stand, will go up 4 places and show you the book that you have selected. I think it's cool, at least. Now, this is where the linking book is going to be, but we'll have to figure out where we'll want the computer terminal. Maybe we have something similar with the computer terminal that holds everything. I'm not sure, but let's start with actually getting some sticky pistons. I don't think I've ever crafted sticky pistons, well, ever in this EEPower Season 2, so we'll see how that goes. Sticky piston. We'll need 3 pistons, and we'll need to get something very sticky. Don't say anything. Slime balls. Do we even have slime? Yes, we do. 3. And we should test with some basic redstone and some redstone torches. So let's order like 4 redstone torches so we can get everything nice and tested. There's that nickelite I ordered earlier. Let's just get this nickelite so that we can work on the solar panels, which we have not yet finished. Throw in here, rinse and repeat. I should probably fully automate that, but currently I cannot be bothered. Speaking about full automation, maybe a remote CleanStar charging area would be awesome. And I do not know why I am currently talking like this. It is very disrespectful. Anyways, let's move onwards. Sigh, I crack myself up. So, let's dig out a bit of a hole around this area so that we can get things tested. Now, I am no redstone genius. I would be the first to admit that. In fact, I'm actually probably the second, or probably the 1,000th, because many of you have just said, no, duh, at your computers. Okay, now we're going to have to get that done. And we're going to have a sticky block right there that will be powered by a redstone torch. And we'll have to have 2 sticky pistons right here facing the same direction, that is. And they'll both have to be powered by redstone. Ooh, aqueous. Nab. Sorry, I'm a crystal collector. Haha, and I'm an alliteration novice. Okay, so we'll have those. So break that, that'll bring it down. Break those 2, it'll bring it back out. And then that'll leave a frame machine to go up and away. Now, how's the algorithm for what we're going to want to do? Wait, did it turn both of them on? Sweetness! Turn both of them on. So basically we'll want it to turn on, then up, then we'll want off, then off. So we'll have to have some redstone that will basically turn this on, then it'll need to turn that off, turn that off. Here comes the redstone novice tree to the rescue, and tunneler Mach 2. And lag spike of death. One moment, guys. Stone wafers for the win. Okay, so I think I got the lag issue sorted out. If not, we're going to have to defrag this hard drive soon, but I'll carry it along as best as I physically can. So now we gotta figure out how we're going to do this logic setup. Now, as I said before, redstone noob, easily able to admit that. Maybe what we can do is have it on, off, off, or more like on when it gets pushed. I gotta test that. And let's pull some redstone dust for later because we're going to need this. Wait, do I have any supply of redstone? No, I don't, so let's just make 32 since we're going to need a lot of that, and let's just go whole hell on sticks and get a bit of stone for fun. This is for all the logic. Don't worry, I'm not just being a stoner. Haha, I'm a redstoner instead. Anyways, so I'm thinking that this is probably easier than I first made this out to be. So let's get that and that out of the way. So we'll want this on, and then this on, and then that's easy. Then when this turns off, and that can turn off. So we'll just need 2 simple repeaters, and that should be the end of that. 2 simple repeaters, and probably a whole lot more dignity, and then we should be good to go. Assuming I don't kill myself with my embarrassment. Okay, throw that away since we won't need that, and we'll probably... can I do an anti-rain dance? Because this is getting annoying. I'd probably make a pedestal, a dark matter pedestal. I'd probably make a dark matter pedestal just to keep the sun up. That's why I made an eternal day age. Goodness. Okay. So, advanced redstoner repeater. Okay, the repeater requires 3 wires each, 2 cathodes, so 6 and 4. Let's see, redstone. We'll need 6 of those. We'll need to make some more of those redstone torches. Wait, do we only need 4 cathodes actually? So 4 cathodes, that's good. 4 cathodes, but we're going to need to get some redstone dust for the most important part, which is the anode. I don't know why I said it's the most important part. And if memory serves, we put those there, those there, those there. And yes, presto changeo, we got components. So we're gonna also need a lever, which I probably do not have in my inventory, typically. But we can just make a lever. Okay, I think we got everything. Just need to move this lever into a desirable location. Or a vocation, I'm not entirely sure. I'm just kind of pulling things out of my derriere right now, so we'll never know how it goes. So, I think how this redstone repeater can work is if I put one here and light it up, it should power both of them. Yes, okay. So that is good. We won't have to be very fickle about that at all. So the first thing that we'll need to turn on is a repeater that will go right here. Repeater right here. And wired up. So this will go on first, and after a slight delay that should go on. Then when it pulls off, you'll see the end result. So get this down. This down. Get down onto the ground and make sure that there's no crosstalk with the pistons, because that would royally screw up this entire thing. Now we got that. How and where should we put this? We should probably eventually have it on like a block like right here. Kind of like a light switch, just turn it on and all that jazz. So I'll actually go underneath. There will just be covers there. So I'll go underneath and we'll have to map it out. But like that. Okay. I think I went deep enough, so if I go 1, 2, down, 1, 2, over, and then we can just, oops, haha, just go across and we'll find our opening. Hallelujah. And of course, we need more wires. Actually, we might have just enough. Get this down onto the ground, and there we go. Testing. Okay, it seems to be working, and the lag is getting atrocious. I wonder. Okay, we're missing a bit of the fact that it's not actually activating. Wait, it just didn't pull back, so we need to probably increase the delay of this slightly. So let's try that. On, it should go up. And there we go. So is that the optimal amount of delay? It's at how many ticks? It's at the third tick, so that's probably the maximum it can do. Actually, it probably is the exact maximum. So now to pretty this up, we're going to have to cover a bit of this area so that you cannot see the back of it. So we'll need like a cover there, or at least have something there so you can't see it. It's not like you're going to be looking down the hole necessarily to see how it's working, but you never know. There could be some odd people around everywhere. Okay, so let's test it once more. It goes up. That's actually wasn't intended, but very useful. And it goes down. So now the next part that we're going to need to do is get some sort of system that will bring this up. Now, the problem is we're trying to go very complicated right away, which might make this very difficult to try to, well, work. So what we should probably do is dig a big area with our hammer and try to work out what we're doing before we start doing... Oh, crap. Well, that sucks. Ha ha ha. I royally screwed myself, didn't I? So I'll just fix this wiring and then try to continue where I left off. Okay, here we are. We can probably cover this up eventually to make it a lot more pretty. But I got the wiring to run around so that it's not really that much of an issue. Now, this is our center. This is pretty much where it's starting. So now I want to do it is that we're going to have some sort of centralized linking book panel. Not panel, but you pretty much know what I mean by now. Let's have a nice little sandbox so that I don't just right-click it with my blasted hammer. Though it'd fall anyways. Anyways, so what we're going to need to do is have the center panel book thingy. And we're going to have a bunch of books around it so that we have a general understanding of where everything is going to be. I think clearing a bit more space will be preferable, though I think we got a general understanding of how everything is. So getting a bit more light and then starting to work with what we'll have will be a good start. So I'll just light up the area, get a few wooden materials so that we can actually start processing what we're going to need to do. You know, starting a job, knowing what you're going to do before starting it, always a good idea. Okay, I got a decent number of linking books down right now, and got a, well, I want to keep on using the word decent because it has worked so well before. So we got linking book stands right here. What we're going to need to do is have them feed in eventually to a centralized linking book stand that will be connected to like some sort of frame that will go up and down and up and down, kind of like that. It might be up one, but that's pretty much how it'll be. Actually, what we should do is have an idea of what the giant frame thing will do, like what it will look like, but or even if it attaches. If it doesn't attach how we plan it to, that could make things a little annoying. Could be a good characteristic of this enterprise. So let's get these down, this down, this down. Will you connect? Yes, you do. So that's pretty much how we'll have it. So floating linking book for the win. And there we go. So throw this away because we do not need you. And honestly, 0.25 EMC, I'm not going to cry over. So let's just get that pretty up. And let's try to think of some possible ways to get this party started. So tubes will be a good idea to just illustrate what we're thinking. We're going to basically need to have basically an input and an output for this linking book. So when we want to put a book into this, we'll have it right here so that the tube can connect, and then it'll go through and then go onto the linking book so that it'll go up and everything. Now the thing is that, well, we're going to need to have an output as well. So this is the input. We're also going to need an output tube that will return it to the location that it was at before. For that, we will need to get some semblance of sanity. Thus, we're going to need to get the transposers so that we can start working. And basically, it's going to be that the transposer will be here and facing the linking book. Oh my gosh, what's with this? It'll be facing the linking book so that it will be able to pull out from the linking book inventory. Kind of like so. So let's get this out of the way. And we'll basically have the input and the output. And for easy demonstration purposes, we'll have the input coming from the right and the output coming from the left, like so. I think that'll work. Hold on one second. Okay, I think we have it sorted out. It doesn't seem to be lagging as much as it did before, though defragging the hard drive will be a good idea in the future. Maybe it's because of all the machines that I have running, like all those separate computers have different emulators on them, etc., etc. That might be actually hampering my performance that I have on Minecraft. But maybe if I try... and it just black screen for me. Okay, round 2. Go! Okay, so now we're going to have a different type of problem. Now we have an input and an output. We can easily pull from this, and everything's going to be computer controlled, so we're going to have stuff coming from or in towards this tube, and it'll go in like that. Now we're going to have to pull from some sort of system that will basically recognize which item needs to go in the tube at a particular time. So we're basically going to have, similar to our design earlier, we're going to have many linking book stands in a row. Let's start with a healthy 11. Healthy 11. Okay. So now... let's try to think of how we'll do this. We're going to need mag tubes. That much is obvious right away. Mag tubes will be needed to make sure everything is quick. So we'll need mag tubes, accelerators, and when it's done, we'll have to patch into the blue electric network. I still don't have that infrastructure yet, so we'll just have to make do with working like this for now. Now, I'm going to try to get this to be like a modular setup in the fact that it'll be able to be continued as far as possible. I'm going to only have like a few linking books, so this system, as it stands right now, should work. But anyways, so we're going to have something that pulls items out of the linking book and something that puts items back into the linking book. With how it's set up right now, that might be a little difficult. Now the problem is that if we're going to have some sort of big network, it's not likely that we're necessarily going to have each and every single one filled individually. So we'll have to have some sort of way to inhibit books from going into the wrong location. So we'll have to have stuff that, so say this is the output. Input basically goes back into the stand, output takes away. I'll continue using that lingo from now on. So we'll have an output and we'll also have an input. And we also will have a wall that is getting in my way. Let's see, stage 1, power up Philosopher's Stone. Stage 2, smash that wall into smithereens while there happens to be dirt. Curse you, dirt! I will not forget this day! What was I talking about anyways? Okay, so we'll have that and that. So if this is going to be computer controlled, we're going to have a way to turn this off. So redstone on the input line will basically stop items from passing through this. similar to exactly how a filter works, and it's basically like shutting off a valve. So if you have multiple tubes and transposers going down a line, if there's a redstone current on one of them, it'll say, "Yep, can't go through that one, let's go try the next one," and so on and so forth until it reaches the only empty one. Yeah, that will work. Okay, so now what we're going to have to do is see what to do. The only way that I can think of that I used before also, so if you think I'm copying myself, well, I kind of am in this circumstance, is to have a NOT gate on this block, and this is the output, so when a redstone current goes to here to pull items out of it, so like pull, and then that one will have to turn on as well and stay on pretty much. Is that even a NOT gate? Let's see. How I had it before was that there was a NOT gate here that kept this on while that was off. So if I had a NOT gate, that'd mean that all of them pretty much have to be, all the outputs have to be on for these to be off. Which honestly doesn't make too much sense. It's more like a repeater. Wait. All these have to be on when these are off anyway. So basically when you have a redstone current on here, this one will be off, so when you send the book out again, it will be able to come back through this way. So, say we have two of them here. We want to get this book. So we have redstone go through here, NOT gate inverses it, so this one is allowing items to go through. The NOT gate that's on this, basically this is off, but this is on, allowing nothing to go through. So when a tube goes by, when an item book, rather, goes by and goes back here, it sees, hey, it can't go there. No, it can go there, and it goes through. Now, if it's the other way, this book got requested, gets pulled out. When it goes back, this one will stop it from going through in here, and it will instead go in here because this will be the only available one, and so on and so forth. So if this one is open, it'll only go to that one because it's the only one requested. I think that will work. So all that we'll have to do is basically get a bunch of panels. I think we're going to need to go with saw. I saw the saw. We're basically going to have to go with a lot of panels, not panels, covers. Let's go with a nice healthy amount of 56 covers. So 56 covers to start off with. It'll go up, and then we'll need to put a NOT gate there, but it'll need to be connected to wires going here, and there will also be accelerating tube things. Accelerators, that's what they're called. Accelerating tube things. Oh my gosh, I can't speak the English. So let's just tidy this room up a bit and see what else we can manage to procure before this episode is done. Okay, what I think would be a good idea would be to actually test out the system with one of them. So we're just going to need to figure out how to make a NOT gate. So 3 anodes, 1 cathode, 1 stone wire. So we'll need to use our philosopher's stone. So 3 anodes. I think this is probably one of the only recipes that actually use 3 of those blasted things. Did I say blasted? Ha, sorry, I meant torturous. Okay, cathode, and we're going to need a wire. He has a wire! Throw these down, and throw these down. So we got one of these little things, rascal. Okay, so we got this down. We're gonna need a screwdriver. and bring this over. Okay, so this is going to be the input, and this will be like that. And basically we're going to have a lever to control everything since we don't actually have anything else. Fudge. Okay, we don't have any other normal ones, so basically, do we have any book whatsoever? Book. We have a book to the nether. So if we put this book here, when we request it, it'll get thrown out. And this will be open up for business. Now when we put it back, it will stop anything from going through. We should test that stopping. No? We can easily test it by the fact that the plunger is actually moving. So there, it's open, it's closed, open, closed, open, closed. I can do this all day, though you probably won't want to see that. So our next step would be to basically we'll need to cover this so that we can add upon it 2 more transposers and more wires, and eventually we'll need to have accelerators both on each side, and we'll need to use mag tubes. Accelerators use obsidian and those blue alloy ingots, whereas the mag tubes use they use obsidian and also fine copper wire. We can make that, and you can help. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of What the Hell? If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. Wave Time here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.